Hey guys, you're back with Mr. C for DLM.037. Today we're going to be learning about quadrilaterals. And quadrilaterals are shapes that have four sides. The word quad means four and lateral means sides. So we're going to learn about the names of these different shapes. So they all have different names in them. So quadrilaterals have four sides and four angles. We'll learn about some of the special names. Like one of the names we have is a kite. Kites have a special set of rules that make them kites. So we'll learn those rules later on. So quadrilaterals include trapezoids, parallelograms, rectangles, squares, and rhombuses. And we'll learn those rules later on, but we're just going to learn the names of them today. So trapezoids look like this. There are reasons why trapezoids are trapezoids. We'll learn them later on. And then included in the family of trapezoids are parallelograms, rectangles, and squares and rhombuses. So when you see a parallelogram, it's also a trapezoid. When you see a rectangle, it's also a trapezoid. When you see a square, it's also a trapezoid. When you see a rhombus, it's also a trapezoid. So everything on this slide here are all trapezoids, and we'll learn why later on. So parallelograms are the next item, and again, all of these things out here are parallelograms, and also inside here, rectangles are also parallelograms, and rhombuses are also parallelograms, and squares are also parallelograms. So we'll learn why parallelograms are parallelograms, and we'll move on to rhombuses. These are all rhombuses, but it turns out that rectangles and squares are also rhombuses. And we'll learn why later on. And then rectangles. You've seen rectangles before, but it turns out that squares are also a type of rectangle. So these are all rectangles, but then squares are also included in the family of rectangles. And of course the part of the quadrilaterals that have no separate little family is just squares. Squares are squares. They're nothing else. So here's a review. Quadrilaterals are any four-sided shape. Some of those four-sided shapes have different names, like kites, or trapezoids, or parallelograms, or rectangles, or squares, or rhombuses. And we'll learn why those different names have those names later on. So keep going there. That was a review of what the names of quadrilaterals are, and hopefully in the future you'll be able to point to any one of these items here and name it. Like you go, oh, that's a square, that's a trapezoid, that's just a quadrilateral with no name. You can say, oh, that's a kite, and that's a kite. Trapezoid, that would be a parallelogram. That'd be another parallelogram. That would be a rhombus. And rectangle. So there are names for all these quadrilaterals, and there are reasons why they have those names. So we'll learn those reasons why later on. So thank you for learning with Mr. C. That's it for today. Thank you.